Hey there, mindful travelers. Michael here. It is day 24 of our confidence challenge, and I thought I'd go live today on this lazy Sunday afternoon. You can tell by my kicked back appearance, and I'm pretty chill this afternoon. I'm actually in a different location because the time. I think it's almost 4 p.m. Central, and the sun is over there. So my normal filming spot out here in the yard isn't very good. There's a lot of shadows, and the sun is a little too bright. So I had to find somewhere else. I think this is a good spot, and kind of leaning back, a little chill here in the shade. I'm trying to stay cool here in Texas. But I wanted to talk today about some of these amazing things going on with Novel Excursion right now. I'm super excited. I did a kind of a promo video about our book, this ebook that I've been working on. I did that yesterday and I posted it as a reel on Instagram. You can find it, just go to my profile, you can check out my reels and you'll see it from yesterday. I don't think I labeled it as day 23, so you'll see me. I think I'm wearing a blue shirt. You'll know which one when you see it. But yeah, I did a short 30-second promo about what that book is going to be about. For those who missed it, it's essentially a chronological walkthrough of the city of San Antonio. So 300 years worth of history for that city. And I'm going to talk about, from past to present, all the way through future. So the implications that, this cultural development has had on the future and how we can sustain the vibrant heritage of the city. So that's in a nutshell what the book's going to be about. But it's going to go into in-depth detail about the history in part one. In part two, I'm going to hit the three pillars of our business. So travel, education, and service. And I'm going to hit places to travel. Then I'm going to hit places to learn that are going to pull out, specific cultural lessons that will help you feel more immersed in the community of San Antonio. And then I'll pull out places to serve in. So I just finished that chapter today, the Where to Serve chapter. And that's pulling out 5 key places in the area that I think are worth your time as a volunteer and would really do a service to the greater community and the community in the greater San Antonio area. And then finally, what I'm going to start working on tomorrow is the chapter about the future. So imagining the future of the city. So there I'm going to talk about some initiatives for green initiatives and sustainability initiatives by different organizations or city initiatives, whatever it may be, that are happening in the San Antonio area. And I'm going to talk about those in terms of how we're perpetuating these cultures, these traditions for generations to come past us. There's a lot of things going on that make, kind of put it at the forefront for us to be considering green and sustainable initiatives. A lot of businesses are moving that direction. So I'm going to talk about some of that, and then I'm going to close the whole thing with talking about responsible tourism. So how we can pull all the lessons from the rest of the book into a responsible trip. So all this kind of came out of a wonderful coaching session I had with Melissa de Oliveira. I think I pronounced that correctly. Over at the Encompass Collective. So she is a marketing and business coach and a very phenomenal one at that, I should add. Major shout out to her for the session I got on Friday. But she mentioned something. I'm going to go into more about some of the impacts of what we talked about that are really shaping our direction right now and why I got on here to talk to you. But something she mentioned in passing was about travel being a privilege. And that really hit home, and I really started thinking about it. And the reason we want to start a nonprofit is because we want to not only help other cultures, but we see our ability to travel as a Western society as an opportunity for us to go into isolated communities and not impose our values, but to learn from theirs and bring them back to the larger world that otherwise wouldn't be exposed to those. So there's many cultures who just don't travel like we do, many cultures who don't have the ability to. But with that privilege that we have to do so, it's more of a responsibility for us to go out, learn, and bring that back to everyone else, as opposed to pushing our own views on everyone. So that idea of travel being a privilege, I think that really hits at the heart of what we're doing here at Novel Excursion, why we want to have the World Family Project as our nonprofit, where we connect, we bridge cultures through travel, education, and service. And that's because we want to take it from a privilege to a responsibility. Yes, it is a privilege to go have fun. It's great that we can have that ability to go see the world and experience it. But with that comes that responsibility to, one, be mindful of the communities that we're traveling in and don't negatively impact them when we're there. And two, learning from them and spreading that, dispersing that throughout the rest of the world, throughout our local communities when we come home. So that's something that really hit home with me, and I think hits at the heart of what Novel Excursion is about. But getting into the whole reason why I came on this video in the first place is all the amazing things that I'm super excited to be doing with Novel Excursion. So in that coaching call, we kind of discussed, one of the big issues that any of you who are entrepreneurs probably understand this and would know very well what I'm talking about. But when you start a new business, you have all these great ideas, wonderful ideas. The ambition is just flowing. The sky is the limit. You think you can do anything, and you're just rattling off thought after thought after thought, all these wonderful things you can do. And then slowly but surely reality starts to sink in. That 24-hour clock starts to hit you and you realize there's just so much time in the day. How can I do everything that I set out to do? And before you know it, you start getting disheartened, start feeling disenchanted, you start feeling, all these feelings like, I can't. These negative sensations of, this is too much, I bit off more than I can chew. And that's why a lot of entrepreneurs will end up giving up and going back and working for an established corporation. There's nothing wrong with that. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. But I think a good way to get past it, get past that initial stage of, uncertainty, is to talk to people. So I've had this wonderful mastermind group that I've been able to bounce ideas off of and collaborate with, and these guys are wonderful. Melissa is part of that group, and part of that, came this conversation with her where I reached out and, told her, or she actually reached out to me and said, I want to help you. So we ended up sounding our ideas off of her. She's heard, over the past couple months of us talking every week about all these crazy ideas I have. It's like every week I have a new idea. And she is helping us find focus. So Amanda's wonderful at finding focus for us. She is my rock right now. And if it wasn't for Amanda, I would not be doing what I'm doing right now. I would have probably given up a long time ago. But with both of us being so intimately connected in this business and where we're going, it's hard to get perspective. So it's great for Amanda and I to be on this call and get perspective from an outside source. And what that perspective showed us was that we had a wonderful concept, but we didn't know how to put it to fruition. So we want to plan travel for people, right? We have all these ideas, but right now travel is slowly picking up with COVID. So it's very frustrating. Then at the same time, I'm trying to balance a writing career. I want to publish my first fiction novel, which I just got feedback from last month, and I'm so excited to start working on that. Yet I have these other projects. We're trying to work to build Novel Excursion, which are going to be more, they're going to contribute more to Novel Excursion itself than my fiction novel will. So those are taking precedence, and then my novel is falling down by the wayside. So there's all these competing interests right now, and I just didn't know how to balance it. It's just one thing after another is taking too much time. So what we discussed on Friday was our concept with bridging cultures through travel, education, and service is our foundation. That is what makes us unique. That is our entire mission, our entire vision. Our vision is broad, right? Our vision starts broad, mission gets smaller, strategy gets smaller, and then every day-to-day thing that we do is even smaller from there, right? So our vision is bridging cultures through travel, education, and service. Our mission is building a community of caring and selfless humans. So those two are nested together. But within that vision, that is our foundation. We realize that everything that we want to do can fit neatly in those three pillars. So I'm a huge Roman history buff. I studied archaeology when I was in college, and my forte was the Augustan era. For those who don't know, Augustus was the first emperor of Rome. One of my dogs is even named Augustus. He still lives with my parents now, so he ended up becoming the parents' dog, but yeah, his name is Augustus, and most people call him Gus, which for a while I was very opinionated about that. Now I've gotten a little more chill and I let it go, but yeah, Augustus after the first emperor of Rome, so kind of nerd there. But the three pillar concept makes me start thinking of the the Temple of Augustus that we saw in Pula, Croatia. There was this big piazza there, pardon the aside, but there's this big piazza that we were sitting in, and we went across to the restaurant, and that was actually a pretty big moment for me because I tried truffle pasta, and I have never been a big fan of mushrooms until I ate that, and now I love mushrooms. Who knew? But yeah, we were sitting there eating this, and right across the piazza was the Temple of Augustus. I believe is one of the furthest eastern reaching fully intact temples of Augustus, but I could be incorrect. I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that one. But it's beautiful. So anyways, think about the three pillars. We got travel, education, service. So within those, we decided we're going to start providing various products and services. So what we're going to start doing, and all this is supposed to take into effect October 1st. Hopefully before that, our goal is to get a lot of this done in the next coming weeks, but for those who've been following us know that we're going on a trip soon to Portland, so that's going to cut into some time. And then Amanda starts her school again for the fall term, and with COVID kind of scaling back a little bit, she's going to start going into town for in-person classes, so that's going to take some time out too. But what we're going to start doing is building pre-packaged itineraries. So what is different from this versus the actual custom travel itinerary planning is that we're going to build the itineraries for you. So we're going to have it packaged for cities, various cities around the world. We're going to start with San Antonio since that is our focus right now. With the ebook and with the cultural excursion, we're going to start with San Antonio, and then we're going to start with places we know. So Hamburg, Germany, that we lived in for a long time. We're going to probably do Paris because we've been to Paris so many times. We'll do San Diego. We'll do Los Angeles. We'll do probably, I don't know. There's going to be a number of places that we have been to that we're going to start with first. Disney World will be one, of course, because I've been there over 100 times. Disneyland Resort will be one. Disney Paris, of course. Those will be things in itself. Those will be a little different, kind of under a different tier. But going back to these itineraries, so within the itineraries for each city, we're going to provide you tips and tricks for accommodations, transportation, places to see, of course, tourist attractions, but then we're going to go day by day and list out places where you can learn from the communities, get a more immersive experience, and then also have a volunteer component in there where you can give back. So we're going to find a place for you and actually recommend this is where you should fit it into your itinerary. And these are all going to be about 5-day itineraries. It's going to follow the model of what we're doing for our cultural excursion right now. Ultimately, in the long run, we're going to build them of varying lengths, and then we'll provide those to you as well. But those are going to be listed on our website for sale once those come out. First one, as I said, will be San Antonio. The intent behind these are basically to save you the time of doing all that research. So I have been that planner. I've been the one who is going to a new city, and I spend hours and hours in front of a camera or in front of the computer looking up blog after blog, TripAdvisor after TripAdvisor, reading reviews after reviews after reviews, trying to figure out where's the best place to go. Well, we're going to do that work for you. So we're going to do that work, package it up nice, understandable. It's going to be a beautiful little product that you can download when you purchase it, and it's going to be an ebook style, so you can take it on any device that you have, and then from there you can translate that into your bookings. So then you can say, hey, I'm going to San Antonio for 5 days. Here's my itinerary. This tells me everything I can do with that time. Now I can book, I can pick and choose what I want, or I can just book it verbatim as the itinerary says. And then on top of that, of course, if you want me to book it for you, I am more than happy to do that as well. I still offer the travel planning services where I will book those itineraries for you, and you don't have to purchase that. So that will end up being something that we offer to you. But yeah, more to follow on that. We're still working through where we're going to list them. We're going to list them on our website, of course. Pardon the sound, that loud truck. Anyway, so it will be listed on our site. It will be on our shop. But how it's going to be linked, more to follow on that. But I encourage you to sign up to our mailing list. On our mailing list, I'm going to be providing more detailed accounts of what we're doing on all these new things happening and how it's going to be laid out. By the way, let me just throw in that quick plug. If you go sign up for our mailing list right now, you're getting a free family travel packing list for the minimalist traveler. So what that is I've narrowed down, or I've limited down your list to bare essentials to reduce hassle for you and give you more room for souvenirs, as well as limiting your baggage, which means less fees for you, less time at the airport. You know, if you're concerned about social distancing, then you can get on and off the plane with your carry-on. So, and I also have tips and tricks on that little page that will help you, with your travels. So that's if you sign up for our mailing list. So, all right. So we're going to be providing those itineraries. Then that will be under the travel pillar. Under the education pillar is going to be our ebooks. So San Antonio is going to be the first one, right? San Antonio, we're going to do that culturally immersive, chronological journey through San Antonio. We're going to do that about other cities as well. So I said we're going to Portland soon. We're going to do one about Portland. I don't want my phone to fall. We're going to do one about Hamburg, Germany. We're going to do one about Berlin. We're going to do one about all the places we've been, all the places we go. So that will fall under there. That's going to be focused primarily, it's going to hit all the gates of travel education service, but it's going to be more geared toward learning from the community, so an educational focus. Eventually we're going to start building ones that are going to be more service oriented as well. Then under that service component, that's where we're going to provide resources for various volunteer opportunities. That's where we're going to list out our steps for our nonprofit, where we're going, what the status is, how you can help us get where we're trying to go. It's going to have spots for feedback, recommendations. It's going to have highlights about our cause of the month, which is, if you aren't subscribed to our email list, or if you were not on our Facebook group, our cause of the month is each month we're providing 10% of our profits goes to this cause of the month. So this month it is the Native American Youth and Family Association in Portland, Oregon. So check it out on our website. You'll learn more. But yeah, so that's going to be under the service component. So there is kind of the three, just a quick once over of what we're going to be providing. Oh, and by the way, something I forgot to mention, in our travel side, we're also doing those excursions. So I've been mentioning it here and there over the past 24 days that we're going to be doing this cultural excursion, a deep dive, immersive excursion in a city, right, where you get to learn from and give back to the community. Those 5-day events. We're still planning on doing the one in December, starting December 13th. Head over to cesa.novelexcursion.com to find out more and sign up for your interest. We're going to be opening the registration page here in about a week, maybe 2 weeks. So hopefully before the end of August, that will be up and ready to start accepting registrations. It's going to be limited to only the first 14 people. So keep that in mind. So if we don't get the interest because, the fluctuating situation with COVID and we have to postpone, we're going to postpone that December event into the spring. But we're going to continue doing these, and we're going to continue adding to our offerings. So we're going to have an annual San Antonio event, since that is our home. We may do two, I'm not sure, we'll see. But we're going to also have various events depending on where we're traveling. So we're going to travel to different cities to host these events. So that's going to be another service that we're going to be offering under our travel pillar. And then the last thing we're going to be offering is merchandise. So her forte is design, apparently. She's been having a great time doing this design on Canva and various different, I think, Photoshop she's using. I'm not sure. She's using a whole bunch of different platforms. But she's designing these fantastic designs that we're going to then use Amazon to sell some of our merchandise. So we're waiting for approval on that. We already have some designs submitted. Once we get approved, it's about a 2-week waiting period. We submitted for approval last week. So hopefully by the end of August, we're up and running. But worst case scenario, by October 1st, like I said, all this stuff should be out. So by October 1st, we should have merchandise being sold. we'll have at least 2 pre-packaged itineraries, San Antonio, and my next one on deck is San Diego, because I've been there a lot. I'm going to do one for San Diego. We're going to have that ebook. We're going to finish writing it by the end of this month and then have it published by the end of September. So October 1st, that will be up, ready for sale on Amazon and our website. Then the cultural excursion will also be available for your registration, for you to sign up if you're interested in coming to San Antonio in December. So a lot going on. Oh, by the way, we still have our YouTube channel. We still have our blog, going to be producing content every other week on each of those. Right now, YouTube is just going crazy right now with this video challenge. I'm producing content almost every day. But ultimately, we're going to scale that back in about 6 days once I hit the 30-day mark and kind of refocus on the things that we need to get done to hit these goals. But yeah, so this is huge for us, and I'm really excited. And another shout out to Melissa. Really appreciate your help. Couldn't be doing this without you. This is fantastic. I'm so excited, and I'm very excited to be embarking on this journey with all of you. Each one of you who's listening to this, I hope you stayed through the end. I talked a lot more than I intended to, but if you haven't joined our group, please come join us. Facebook.com/groups/Novel Excursion. That's where we communicate with you. That's where we get to know you. That's where you get to know us. I just posted kind of an album of pictures of us volunteering at Wings and Reins over here in Divine, where we go and help abused and neglected horses. So wonderful time. We're building a community of caring and selfless humans over there. Come join us. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Novel Excursion. Follow us on Twitter and Pinterest at Novel Excursion as well. Sorry, Facebook, Instagram is Novel Excursion Travel. Twitter and Pinterest is Novel Excursion. And then we also just opened up a page on LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn, you can find me. My end of my URL is Michael-Camarillo. And then we have a business page, Novel Excursion Travel, on LinkedIn as well. So it was great talking to you today. I hope you stayed with me through the end. Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow, and I'd love to hear your feedback, so definitely comment below. If you're watching this on YouTube, click subscribe. Love to see you. Love to share this journey with you. So thanks for stopping by, and as we say, don't forget to travel mindfully.